Welcome to Vox Scream, a Kill Team podcast where we aim to help players of all skill levels supercharge their game and separate the signal from the noise. I'm Mark Meyer, joined by Kill Team heavyweights George Pratt and Joe Gallo. We're coming to you from the Triangle region in North Carolina. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, y'all, welcome back to a special weekend edition of Vox Scream, joined at long last by Joe Gallo and George Pratt, back in action. What's going on, guys?
Hey, no longer sick. Feeling great.
Yeah, brag about it. I am still sick, but I am much recovered.
We've got so much to talk about today. We have waited all week to get all the inside scoop from these sort of like faction teasers that we've gotten through the week, and let's get right into it. I think that we should probably start with Joe because he probably doesn't have much to say about elites.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
No, I think
None whatsoever.
I think they didn't really change too much, and I think they're going to be fine. No, we got pretty great insight on what the elite section of the populace is going to look like for the game. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is anything that is not Phobos has now gone up to 14 wounds, which is awesome, but with a giant asterisk that Phobos gets 7-inch movement, so they no longer need to pay a CP for it. I will also say on top of that, though, it may not matter specifically because their big rolled into everything ploy, they were spending for it anyway, so it'll matter for, I think, maybe injury, and that's it. But that's it.
No, a 7-inch matters a lot. A 7-inch move is crazy strong.
Sorry, let me rephrase. It is really, really good in the same way that, obviously, we'll talk about Aeldari when we get there, is really, really good. But I was more meaning in the sense of, like, CP efficiency, because they're likely going to have Vanguard, again, in some form of variety, but the 1-inch movement was already baked into Vanguard.
It'd be super interesting to see how that power gets redistributed. Is Vanguard a ploy that just has other things in it apart from the movement buff? Is it going to be like they get an equipment choice now that gives them the chance at a free mission action? I mean, obviously, it's all conjecture, but so many interesting possibilities.
I do feel a little bad for Phobos because, as we also saw today, Legionnaire got Slanesh, and Slanesh is just an extra inch of movement. So, we'll see what the rest of, like, Slanesh looks like, because obviously Slanesh in the last edition was kind of meh. And was
Slanesh was definitely the worst mark. It was a tech mark,
right?
But like Slanesh does always give you plus 1-inch movement as just a thing,
right?
I think was fine.
But the big thing in context of Legionnaire now is it looks like, and I'm saying looks like because this is just what we saw today, that they took all of the buffs you got from the marks, the initial ones. So, like for example, with Khorne, if you were Khorne marked, you just got a crit. That is the same, but one of the ploys, Blood for the Blood God, also increased your crit damage. That is now a thing that, regardless of your mark, is team-wide, unless you are Khorne, that both of them go up. Though specifically, if you're not Khorne marked, it's just the first time you deal damage. For the Khorne marked, it's just you go up. So if, like, for example, the Butcher, who's 5'7", is now 6'8", assuming he keeps his profile,
it probably will.
What
I'd like to point out, though, is that the Khorne mark actually got nerfed. So currently, in the current edition, if you didn't roll any crits, you could just strike or parry with any of them as though they were a crit. But now you get a crit, and that can be parried out.
Correct, yeah.
So, like, it is technically a nerf. It's effectively the same thing. Slanesh hasn't changed. That leads me to believe that Tzeentch probably won't be changed, and Nurgle probably won't be changed. Although I could actually see Nurgle being changed to an extra cover save specifically, because I see that going around a lot in the rules previews, and it won't stack with Vantage as per the other ones, which I think would be better because that would make Nurgle not just always it's already arguably the best mark, just in terms of mark power, not including any of the ploys or anything. Just being able to just like, I have a save, that's a crit save, actually, is super strong.
And also you could mix and match as well, by the way. That's a big thing. No longer are you restricted to Slanesh can only play with if Khorne's not there and so on and so forth.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
I think it's important to just kind of like level set here as we're kind of getting into this. We've talked a lot about Legionnaires here. We know that a lot of like their core abilities seem to be the same. We know that we can kind of mix and match marks as we please, although the Balefire Acolyte notably cannot take Corn, which is interesting when you kind of look at the dead card that's provided.
No
lower down.
psychers.
Yeah,
Corn does not like
that's
psychers.
that's a big lore thing that people would be actually like upset about if you broke it.
No
no
sissy magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Punch people in the face like a real man.
They're also getting a really interesting equipment piece that will let you kind of do the elite points thing, where if you get 2 misses, you can discard 1 and flip 1 to a normal success, but it's going to come at the cost of D3 wounds. That's really interesting.
Notably, I will say to that is very similar to 40k, the 10th edition Dark Pax ability, which lets you sacrifice wounds to, I believe, get rerolls or lets you do a variety of things. So it's very interesting that we're getting a little bit of cross from 40k into a lot of this. I noticed that.
I mean, it's already better than 90% of all the equipment that Legionary currently have anyway.
Oh, no, I know.
Legionary equipment's terrible.
I know, but I'm just saying it's interesting that some of the design stuff from Big Hammer has already begun to, from 10th edition specifically, has already begun to cross over into Kill Team.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, no, I'm just,
it's the same universe.
It's
the same models.
It's interesting, is all I'm saying.
Is it? It should be expected.
Not necessarily.
You know what is interesting? Fucking Legionaries at 14 wounds. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, that's going to be massive. That's going to be very...
I'm so excited.
It's going to be massive, and particularly what I'm looking at right now is how good are Nurgle's defensive buffs going to be. Because if it stays the way it currently is, it is going to be nearly impossible to fucking kill them.
Yeah, that's like, it can't just be, yeah, I get a crit save. Like, fuck off. Like, it can't do that.
Absolutely
It's got to be the cover thing, like Vantage and all that stuff.
Even just the damage reduction is... Like, I mean, for example, let's say you're shooting, I don't know, let's say a railgun. And the railgun's what? Is it 4 normal damage?
I think it's 4/4, 2 mortal wounds.
Right, and now you're putting that down to 3, and it's only AP1, and then you get to keep the crit save as well. And I'm on 14 wounds. You're gonna maybe do 6 damage to me. Woohoo! And then I'm gonna go and kill 3 guys now, because that's the other thing. All Astartes now have baked in as a core faction thing for them. They can shoot twice, fight twice, and I believe it's specified that it had to be a bolt weapon.
At least one of these shooting attacks has to be with a bolt weapon.
Which is interesting because scouts were included in this preview as well, so I'm really curious if that includes
scouts. Have the Adeptus Astartes keyword like everyone else does, so I'm going to assume,
Which is pretty big.
I'm not sure if it's a thing like on the data card. I think it's going to be like a faction ability that you'll see like in their rule set. So I don't think scouts are going to get it, but I imagine they're going to keep... I imagine they're going to get the thing now where they can do it like once per turning point or something like that.
Because that would be the fact that like you could theoretically have an entire team go on engage, shoot twice, and then all of them counteract. That's potentially 20 shots with bolters.
Yeah, but in order to counteract, you need to have less activations.
I know. It's just it's a fun theory.
But it'll never shake out.
I know it won't shake out that way, but it's just fun to think about, you know? And that's the other thing. One thing that we did see from a design standpoint, the scout sniper I wanted to point out, he cannot move and shoot his silent profile, period. No dash, no reposition, nothing. So that is probably the big trade-off we're going to see with silent weapons and probably some heavy weapons now, is that you are not moving the turn you're shooting those weapons.
On the flip side, though, he is the first sniper profile that we've seen where he can do more than one silent shot. We've seen snipers like where you can take your first shot on silent and then you have to kind of move around and you'd still get like a good weapon profile by not moving, but you're going to have to go on engage to do it. And it, you know, to your point earlier about lore accuracy, I think the scout sniper should be one of the best.
Exactly. And another thing that we are seeing that is a consistent trend now, leaders aren't hitting on 2s anymore. The Space Marine Captain preview we got, a captain, like the pinnacle below chapter master, is hitting on 3s. Now, bear in mind, with the Power Fist, that's been a thing. But the pistol, the Plasma Pistol hits on 3s.
Yeah, you should be hitting on 2s with the Plasma Pistol. It's pretty stupid.
I think I understand the why of it, because hitting on 2s is, and especially if you have baked in rerolls in, especially with like particularly the way that Intercession was initially designed. You just get rerolls all day, which basically is like the whole thing with Novitiates, right? Their pistol girl, the running joke with her is that you just don't miss because you have the auto chastizer on her. It's the same philosophy, and even to extend that to scouts, right? I rarely miss with scout shotguns at all because they have the baked in rerolls and they hit on twos. Now, bear in mind, they may keep hitting on twos just because shotgun philosophy or whatever, but that's the thing. That may be a thing unique to scouts now that no other team really has access to, and maybe their draw and appeal now.
Maybe. I doubt that they're going to continue to hit on twos with the shotguns just simply based on the data cards we have seen.
I would probably agree with that.
I'm interested to see that. Although I think if anyone's going to hit on twos with a plasma pistol, it's going to be the captain. And it's not like the plasma pistol is as absolutely cracked as it is
exactly.
currently.
No. It's like the current Hearthkin's Thane's plasma pistol. Like,
I mean, it's
3-5 piercing 1.
It's not that bad. It might actually be the same profile. I don't know. I remember the Thane's pistol being so absolutely terrible that I just
it's the exact same profile. It's AP1, 3-5. And that's fine. It's bad on the Thane currently because you can just take a full ranged weapon that's 3-4 damage.
It also hits on 4s on the Thane, which is not what you want.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So my question, I guess, to y'all as before we transition out of elites, and then you guys can add in whatever comments you want about elites, as I think it's a good transition point here. How do we feel now, given what we know about elites, about that? Are they going to be as vulnerable as they are now? Because it seems like plasma has been toned down across the board. And it seems like the real weapons that can kill them potentially in one shot have been exclusively limited to 6-inch range, which would be like the Melta gun and like Melta bombs and mine for the Kazarkin, which we know what the I guess have we seen a Melta gun yet?
I don't think we've seen a Melta gun be used. I don't think. Oh no. Yeah.
They used it during
in the
live stream. Yeah, and it is still an AP2 weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It is the same. It's the same profile.
Okay. So
6-3, 4 mortal wounds.
Did we see the Melta bomb for them? Is it the same thing?
Yes, it did get thrown. I think it has a less normal damage.
Okay, which would make sense. Because I'm curious if the Melta mine will follow the same thing for Kazarkin. But my point is that do we think limiting the range of the insta-kill weapons?
Yes, the answer is yes. Reducing the amount of weapons that can one-shot a 12-wound Space Marine, and then basically every Space Marine except for Phobos are at 14 wounds base, which already increases their breakpoints, and giving them stronger counteract options. You get a free 2-inch move as a counteract, or not free, but as a counteract you can move 2 inches, so you could just dip behind a wall if you place yourself correctly. Yes, I think elites are going to be much more survivable. They will still get out activated like you wouldn't believe, but it's not going to be as crushing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see how some of these teams like that we haven't talked about in terms of elites are going to sort of occupy these niches. I mean, we talked a little bit about legionaries. I mean, that's a little bit of an understatement. We talked a lot about legionaries. We talked a little bit about Phobos had that patient ambush, which is kind of like the prescience ability that lets you just skip your activation to try and outweight people a little bit. What I'm wondering is, obviously, we know that Phobos are going to sort of occupy this space where they are, they are sneaky, they are techie,
tricksy Marines.
Tricksy. Are they going to be the Marine team that has this sort of ability to outlast people through like the Omni Scrambler and through patient ambush? Obviously we haven't talked at all about Night Lords. Night Lords look mostly the same, but Night Lords were such a unique team when they came out earlier this year because they had those abilities that really sort of helped them just run a little bit alongside some of these larger like mid-range and horde teams, while also just making them just elite killers in their own right. Because 1 or 2 extra activations is just huge when you're going up against 6 activations.
And I'll say too, with Night Lords, you saw the Plasma Pistol change, right? That's gonna take down their ability to kill significantly. Like the leader hitting on 2s with the Plasma Pistol that was AP2 was basically a guarantee on a kill on any model in the game, particularly against elites. So in a weird roundabout way, we've also taken away the killing power of elites into other elites. So it's not necessarily one elite team has the edge over the other now. It seems like is going to be a thing.
I disagree. I think Nemesis Claw is still going to be the elite killer, just because they've got the Screecher with his lightning claws, and they have no rerolls, reduced
We assume they're keeping all of it.
thing. I am going to assume they keep all that stuff because that's what makes that team that team.
Well, I'm saying they're not going to because Grizzly Trophy got significantly nerfed.
Sure, it's fine. Grizzly Trophy was already kind of too strong, but like the Screecher's reduce weapon skill ability, he's gonna keep that for sure. His
Yes.
lethal 4-up, if you have less than your full wound, like if you are wounded, he gets lethal 4-up. He's gonna keep that.
I hope so.
Like they're still
I think
gonna
that a lot of the
wreck face.
abilities for Nemesis Claw are going to stay the same. They're one of the newest teams.
Yes.
And so I think that they were kind of designed in and around, like, not necessarily with the new edition in mind, but sort of this is like the power creep level that they've gone for, and they've toned down some of the things that they want to be around this level. But we're hoping, like, I think that a lot of stuff's going to change in terms of like the equipment, but not necessarily so much like on the data cards and just abilities like that. I would expect the ploys to change too. Like, Vox Scream is probably going to be a thing still, but is it going to be as strong as it is now? Who's, maybe not.
I think you brought up a very interesting point, Mark, of how long or how far out did they know what the next edition of this game was going to look like when designing teams for the current edition. And now that you've said it, because I actually hadn't thought about it, if you look at every preview this week, the newer teams, the newest teams, usually got the least amount of changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not to say that like Brood Brothers are going to be completely unchanged. I would be shocked if Brood Brothers don't get some kind of adjustments primarily to their Brood Coven options.
God, I hope so.
But I also think that, a larger trend that I've seen among some of this other stuff, and we can dig into this more once we kind of get through some more of the previews, is just, I think the goals have been twofold. A, to sort of not necessarily nerf the new strong teams, but to bring the older teams up in power level to sort of be around their level. Similarly, I think that they're trying to make the less popular options, the less popular choices, more viable. And I've got some very specific examples of that, but I think let's try and just wrap up our conversation about elites, and then maybe we can jump back into some of these Xenos previews. Is there any other Astartes chit chat that you guys want to go over?
Yeah, one quick thing. The one larger change we saw to Night Lords is this ability that they can now basically reposition, and I believe that's going to probably be in exchange for their shoot fight twice deploy. I
imagine it's probably going to replace the Raptor
Nemesis
ability.
Claw get Astartes, and Astartes just says you can fight twice, shoot twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just all space.
Yeah, I'm just saying because every team's gonna get 4 ploys, and that's probably replacing that ploy. I really like that ability because what it does is if you're playing smart with Nemesis Claw, and was that a strategic or was it a firefight? Do y'all remember?
Yeah, Return to Darkness is a strategic ploy because it has the gray background.
Right. Okay.
Where the firefight ploys,
or like orange,
I think they're called, or no, they're black.
Are they black? Okay.
Yeah.
So I really, really like the fact you can do the fallback action for free, and you can do a reposition specifically. So, like, for example, if a combat really does not go your way and your opponent wins initiative and you're just going to get slapped up, it's a really, really nice ability to just, like, get out of dodge. Or if, let's say, a combat went really, really well for you and you killed 2-3 guys, you can now get in, like, fully behind heavy cover and any of those things. It really, like, plays into their playstyle and their lore in particular, which I really like. And also, in Midnight Clad, no longer requires conceal. Fantastic.
Yeah, but obscuring also no longer just stops you from getting shot, so it's ups and downs. It
adds to their tankiness, right? Because
I think it's more useful overall.
Yes,
I think it's going to proc a lot more overall. But
100%.
To George's point, I don't think it's going to, like, when it goes off, it's not going to be as effective, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the big thing is like, if you can hide, like, if someone's coming to take that Melta shot or whatever, that big killer shot, if you can try to get that, Midnight Clad off and try to get that obscurity, that's going to have to be your goal as the elite player, I think.
I'm going to make one more bold prediction on Astartes before we leave this topic. I don't think strategize or any sort of CP generating abilities are going to be a thing
I
on any of
agree.
these leaders.
100% agree with you on that because you.
Ooh, that is a hot take. I disagree. I think Phobos leader will have strategize. I am less sure about the Nemesis Claw leader, but I still think he might still have it. I still think you can spend that thing.
I think that based on what we've seen, you're not one of the big things I was spending on constantly during my time with elites was shoot twice, fight twice, and now that's fully gone.
Well, I think the bigger thing is like they want to have that choice of if you win initiative, obviously you can take initiative, but if you give initiative to the other player, we learned on the live stream that you get an extra CP. You get 2 CP as opposed to the person with initiative who gets 1 CP. I think they really want to emphasize that choice, and so I think that abilities that generate CP are going to be extremely rare.
Fair.
I can see that.
Fair.
That is entirely fair. But you also start with 1 less CP than currently.
I will say I really do like that change, but like the change of the 2 CP. But let's be honest, y'all are taking initiative still pretty much every time after turning point 1, yeah?
Maybe.
That depends. In my league game this week, I gave away initiative on turn 2 because I had nothing to do. I couldn't do anything with it.
Maybe a handful of times. I can literally count on 10 fingers.
It's also going to be interesting to see if we're playing the game in the same way. I think that right now,
sure,
everybody is playing the game in a way where obviously you're moving up and staging a lot on turn 1. You're playing the objective a lot on turn 1, and
which we can no longer do.
Exactly. Now that playing the objective is no longer a thing on turn 1, is the de facto play going to be to like set up multiple threats to like win initiative and then go kill something, or is it going to be to just have an extremely strong defensive position and play like more reactive, kind of wait for people to come to you? I mean, we've only seen one game, and it was such a unique situation because like one of the teams almost sort of forces that reactive play style.
100% agreed. And all I know is I want to start playing this new edition because it just seems better. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it too. Let's talk a little bit about Xenos. I really liked a lot of the changes that I saw on the Xenos list. Let's start with the teams that I like. Dwarves.
Yeah.
Largely unchanged from the Salvagers. Grudge tokens seem to function pretty much exactly the same. The Cognitar, the attack and defense order token seems to work largely the same. I think the thing that I really liked the most was the change on the auto bolter to accurate one instead of what was
ceaseless,
previously known as ceaseless. Yeah. I think that's a really interesting choice. It makes it much more of a choice between the two guns.
I think it does make it much more of a choice, especially because grudge tokens exist. So like if you toil earn someone on a point and just all talk pattern that guy into oblivion, it's just like, yeah, I just retain a crit and then I'll roll some dice. It's like, what? You're gonna what?
Are they on bolter damage? Is it 3/4?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's actually really solid. I like that.
And the excavation tool is a really nice piece of equipment where you can pick up markers for free, and it doesn't matter if you control them or not. You just get to pick it up. You are salvaging. You're taking that shit and running.
Rocket stone.
Yeah, but I think what's crazy is the Jaegers just get their like free forward deploy thing was 3 models. Now it's the entire team just gets a 4-inch move. Insane.
It also looks like the restriction on like shooting and stuff is gone from that, where previously those models couldn't shoot.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so I guess I think something that's been bouncing around in my head about that is like, is it worth it now to kill enemy models on turning point 1 because it effectively gets you nothing?
That's not true. It removes enemy models, which removes APL for contesting objectives.
But it doesn't count for kill op, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does start for kill op.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
Because I thought, okay, so I guess you can score. You can't score primary and the secondaries
or attack op on turn 1, but kill op is just how many models have you killed by the end of the game.
Okay, so it is scoreable. Okay, cool. I was trying to figure out if that was actually scoreable or not. Okay, so interesting. So yeah, I guess it would be. So the question
removing enemy models is always a good idea.
Yeah, because I'm more curious, like how much. So in the instance of the dwarves, right? And I actually didn't even notice that the shooting restriction was not even there anymore. Weirdly enough, the slower dwarves might be the premier Alpha Strike team now. which is
Well,
crazy.
so far, both dwarf teams are 5-inch base move. So it's possible that salvagers will keep their +1-inch faction rule. Maybe not. We'll see once the rules come out. But currently, they move at the same speed.
Maybe 12 inches move total you can do with the
with the jump back warrior, yeah.
Well, I'm talking with the Jaegers, because it's 4-inch reposition, 5-inch move plus 3-inch dash would be 8, and then 8.
It's a total of 12, yeah.
Well, 12, yeah. That's and then that's not even including weapon ranges.
And then turn on the in the strategic phase, you bombast the shit out of someone.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the bombast can be very aggressive with him now.
Yeah, obviously you don't get that
range.
extra APL on turn 1 with the resourceful ability for Jaegers, but I mean, it certainly can open up some unique abilities, especially if like some of their stuff's changed and maybe they get, I don't think they're going to get anything like the Ancestors are watching. That's like such a, that's really core to the Salvagers abilities, but I mean, anything's possible, man. I mean, the Bombast is such a strong shooter with like a really good ability.
They just have so many silent dudes on Jaegers. Like, I think Jaegers, they're pretty cool now. They're a good team. They're not OP by any means currently, but I think they're going to be pretty devastating if there's no shooting restriction on that 4-inch move, because you could just move up a bunch of, your entire team, of course, but you've got, I think 2 dudes on silent plus a silent sniper.
Yeah, and also you can throw an axe silently as well. And you can also, and the knife girl can throw a knife silently. And then the bow guy, the crossbow guy, can shoot silently as well. He also has an axe that you can throw silently. And I believe the bow even removes obscuring if you do it within 6 inches.
You have to be within 6 inches.
Yeah, which is, like I said, I'll be honest, that seems a little too good in the way that these rules are designed, so I'm going to be a little doubtful if they keep all of that, unless they're really trying to push Jaegers, because they're going to eat up 7 and 8 wound teams if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, ignoring obscuring isn't like it's still good, but we're not going to be using obscuring in the same way early in the game.
Yeah,
so it's not going to be as impactful for like alpha strikes, I don't think.
I was more thinking just from the shotgun standpoint, like the 4/4 shotgun sitting on 3s. You could shotgun the guy across the board, and just get a flanking position, kill a 7-8 wound guy. As long as they're in cover, because they're only taking half damage from the first dice, they're probably going to survive the turning point. So you can set up a very aggressive turn 2 play, give them 3 APL, charge fight, especially if you give them the plasma knife, do it again. I mean, I was doing that stuff with Jaegers before any of these buffs, and it was a very aggressive way to play the team, and it was a very good way to play the team.
I think that won't be quite possible, simply because I don't think they're going to have a combat knife equipment, because one of the warrior loadouts is you can take shotgun fists or pistol and knife.
I hope so.
I think they're going to lean more heavily on, if you want knives, take the pistol. And the pistol's not bad.
No, it's not. It's a bolter, I believe.
With lethal 5, I think.
No,
or is it just the leader and the bomb?
Yes, it's just the leader.
Oh, it's 3-5. It's better than a bolter.
Oh, it's 3-5.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, anyway.
It's a bolt revolver.
It's a bolt.
Yeah, it's real good.
They also just look really dope.
But I would like to point out, Brood Brothers, from everything they've shown, literally nothing has changed.
Which
showed Crossfire, it's the
insane.
same. Cult Talisman is the same. Insidious, exactly the same. Brood Brother, Icon Ward, exactly the same.
One thing that is crazy to me, and you pointed this out when we played our game for this league, George, is the way that the cult icon works for the Brood Brothers icon word.
Best icon in the game.
Yeah, it's not just an objective within 6 inches. It's any objective marker within 6 inches. You can just park them right in between 2.
It's so good.
And just absolutely dominate. It's so cool. Obviously, the question on everybody's mind is like, what's going to happen to the Brood Coven? I mean, I think that's where so much of the strength of the team lies. But that's a question, I think, for another day.
If the Patriarch stays the way it is with the way that it is currently designed, it is going to be the auto take, I think.
I think, and here's my very hot take, I think the Patriarch is going to go to a 7-inch move stat.
Oh God! Why would they do that?
It's a big gene stealer.
Right, but if it's still 4 APL and you could chain activations and oh God, that would be miserable. They would buff it? Ugh. Like
I mean, listen, it's not exactly like it's not a board clearing monster by itself. It very easily gets fucked up.
yeah, well no, first off, not very easily. If you're rolling hot on those fours and you're not shooting it with AP weapons. I
It's got
know.
invul. AP doesn't matter. But I have lost the Patriarch to a single Scout Heavy Bolter in one turn in a double shoot.
Right, but
Just, it happens.
that's not statistically likely. That's like under 10% chance.
I imagine it'll be kind of like a rebalancing of some of the defensive stats. It's not going to be 21 wounds anymore. Maybe like one less like dice in melee. But
I think it will get the same thing that the Ogryn gets when we get to Blooded. And the Ogryn used to be able to claim cover from light terrain. Now it's like a Hulk or the Patriarch where you can't get cover at all from light terrain. But in the rules preview, when we get to the Chaos Kill teams, the Ogryn can not claim cover for line of sight purposes, but can still retain a cover save. So I think that's their new design philosophy with like Hulk models and cover.
and
Which
I'll take a hell yeah for that, brother.
yeah, I'm sure you will, Mr. Killer Fox player.
Let's talk a little bit about Higher Tech Circle. I think that's been, to me, that's one of the more interesting changes in the Xenos area. Reanimation protocols.
Love what I see here.
I do too.
I'm mostly ambivalent on reanimation protocols. I think it is strictly a side grade. I don't think it's better or worse. It's just different. And I don't
One
hate
operative
it.
coming back that's almost certainly going to come back with a lot of wounds, I think is a very fair way to play it.
Yeah, so it currently the current way that it works is if someone dies on a higher tech team, you have to spend resources. You have a tactical ploy and a bug that allow you to put down a marker, a token that says this token allows you to roll to see if this operative comes back. But at most, you're averaging 2 tokens a turn, and if they're killing more than that, you're not getting those dudes back, period. Well, now, everyone who dies, you put a token down, that's the end of the story. But now, whereas in the current rule, everyone could come back on if you roll good enough, the new rules is you only ever get one person back, and it's the first one that rolls the 3 up. And you get to choose the order, so like, I want this guy the most, I'll go with him first, whatever. So like, you can get less back theoretically, but they're going to come back with more with 2d3 plus 2 wounds. So between, what is it, 4 and 8 wounds they're going to come back with. So it's a side grade. What is crazy, however, that Tesla Weave equipment, current Tesla Weave equipment, worthless. Don't take it. Take it if there's literally nothing better, and there's always something better to take. The new Tesla Weave equipment is whenever anyone ends a charge on anyone on your team, they just take D3 wounds. And it's D3 stacking for each dude they end a charge with.
Yeah,
that's
nuts.
Absolutely filthy.
Especially so the death mark is on 10 wounds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the entire team is on 10 wounds. I assume they're going to keep the 12 wound for the Apprentech, 12 wound for the Immortal Sergeant, and 13 for the Cryptech. I'm assuming that. But yeah, everyone else, all the Immortals are base 10 wounds.
Yeah, so that's, man, I'll be honest with you, like, if none of the equipment is, like, better than that, that is going to be, like, very hard for, like, 8 and 7 wound models to deal with because, let's say I'm playing, like, the...
Are you playing Corsairs who are just running around with power weapons?
Yep.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, oh no, did you roll 3 damage and you're now on 5 wounds and can get very easily Tesla bayoneted to death now? Like... not Tesla bayonet or whatever the hell they call it. The hyperphase something
That's
or other.
That's an equipment that gives them lethal 5. I bet you they get hyperphase blades as an equipment, and I bet you it increases critical damage by 1 in addition to lethal 5.
Yep, I agree with that. I think that's interesting. We need to really see the rest of that team to see like how good it's going to be, but they might be a strong contender. We'll see.
Oh my god, and death marks are useful.
Yeah, the death marked ability is the first rule that we've seen that has the seek weapon rule that may affect heavy cover. That's going to be really, really strong.
Yeah, it's just seek. Like, fuck you, I'ma shoot you.
And everybody on your team's going to benefit from that. Everybody can shoot that operative.
Only death marks, only friendly death marks. But
oh, thank you. Yes, my mistake.
But like all friendly death marks get seek whenever you shoot someone. So like if you take 3 or 4 death marks and just shoot 3 or 4 different dudes, then all of a sudden, like, fuck you, my entire team is gonna shoot you until you're dead.
Right. And it's just going to make it such an interesting choice when you're building your team. Obviously, stacking a lot of death marks is going to make a lot of good use of that ability, but we've also seen the Living Lightning tactical ploy, which is going to give Immortals a chance to basically change one of their weapon rules to basically just have this floating blast threat that Immortals can just throw down.
Which is so cool. It removes Splash and just makes it Mortal Wounds 1, Blast 2 inches, which is so cool.
Yeah, I think Necron players are going to be very happy, honestly, with the way that they come out in the new edition, which I'm happy because it's our only source of Necrons now. So we'll see.
As somebody who's been Necron curious, it's definitely like it's getting me all excited.
Necron curious. Okay.
Biggest disappointment: Kinban still looks like it can't kill anything.
We'll see. We only got a preview of it. We'll see. I
see a lot of 3-4 damage on that card.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Man, I have such a love-hate relationship with that team.
I think the thing is it kind of brings up this larger point that I'm interested in, is just like the idea of team identity, right? We talked about it a little bit with elites, like is the Phobos identity, are they still going to be like this mission action machine? Are they going to be the sneaky ones who can just delay activations? We look at Kroot, and their identity right now is max tac ops early, score a lot of points early.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering how, like, I don't think that's going to be their identity anymore because of the way that...
I don't think that ever was their identity. That's just the only thing that they can do. Like, it was the thing that they could do, and their identity is supposed to be jack of all trades.
Sure.
But in this kind of game, you can't be a jack of all trade. You'll just get stomped on by the people who are better at the thing that you're trying to do.
Well, I was thinking about this earlier today. Travis, when he was on the pod earlier in the month, he suggested that maybe the Kroot sniper is going to be really good, which would make a lot of sense since we've seen that
sniper
Kroot
is
are
one
now
of the
very
best
sneaky.
snipers in the game.
Well,
like,
I mean,
he's already
very
good.
Well,
But the problem with that is it's one incredibly good model on a team full of incredibly models.
Yeah.
And like, you can't carry an entire team on one model.
And so you're feeling like the data card that we've seen is incredibly and it's just not inspiring you?
It's as it currently is now. If they had 7-inch move, maybe they'll get like a ploy that gives everyone an inch move. They shouldn't be at 3 attacks in melee. The Kroot Pistolier has a blade, but it's three attacks on 3-4. Like, come on. If you're gonna make them meh at everything, at least make them like at the top end of meh, at least. Instead of in melee, they're in the low end of meh. Kroot's still meh. It makes me upset. I like Kroot.
Yeah, I like the models, so I don't want them to be meh.
I don't want them to be meh either, but everything I'm seeing looks meh as fuck.
Well, what do you think about the Pathfinder changes? Do you think that those are meh as well?
I do, which is a good thing.
Yup, fuck them blue bastards. Nobody likes them. Go to hell.
I think that they are less toxic. They're less aggressive. I think they'll still be perfectly fine. They just won't be able to yeet grenades into your deployment zone on turn 1.
Yeah, and I mean, we had already seen some pointed changes to try and fix some of those extremely early aggressive plays in the last data slate, I believe. But this is definitely a continuation of that. I think the things that obviously, we're seeing the removal of the +1 ballistics on marker lights. The way that marker lights are removed has changed. So now it is much worse to stack marker lights on an operative who hasn't activated, whereas stacking them on an operative who has, probably pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like their design philosophy has been toned back to where it should be from what I'm reading on everything there. I still think there'll be like 11, 12 activations. Their basic gun does 4, 5 damage because that's necessary. And there's like 12 of the bastards with it. So like they'll still be fine. There's a lot of them. They hit real hard, and they'll still have to use marker lights to make the team work. It's just they're less efficient at what they were doing this edition, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, totally agree. I think the point blank fusillade, that's a pretty interesting change, but nothing like crazy or game breaking. It's just going to give them a chance in melee.
I would like to point out, though, that we've seen 2 different Commandos data cards, and both of those data cards have been nerfed. So we've seen the Daka boy. He, instead of Relentless in 6 inches, he's getting Ceaseless, which is Cult Ambush. So reroll 1 result in 6 inches. And now we've seen the Comms boy, and his Shaka pistol was 1-1, 2 mortal wounds. Now it is 1-0, 2 mortal wounds.
Yes.
But it's guaranteed at least 1 crit.
It is a much better utility piece as opposed to like a gun that could just absolutely destroy something. Like I would get some absolutely nutty shots with the the Shaka pistol sometimes. Really? That would just kill people, and it shouldn't do that. It's not what it's meant to do.
That's interesting, because I've been shot been shot with it a number of times, and like the biggest number I've seen is, you take 2 mortal wounds and take 2 damage.
I've rolled 3 crits on it before and killed like elves.
I mean, it's possible. It's a dice game.
Yeah,
it's a real feast and famine weapon, but it's less feast and famine now because it has severe, and so like it's gonna get guaranteed that crit.
It's also a guaranteed stun with 2 additional inches on its range as opposed to what we're used to seeing, which is interesting.
But technically a nerf because it does less damage.
Yeah.
So I think Commandos are going to be in a good spot.
I think so too. I like the changes to the harpoon. I think that's an interesting, to give that lethal 5 as well as stun and let it be a floating thing. Grumpum, iconic to the team. So,
iconic, yeah. It's their most iconic ploy. I can't think of another more iconic Commandos ploy.
Yeah, and before we do think of it, let's just go ahead and talk about elves, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about some elves.
Ooh, yeah, man. Let me tell you, Hand of the Archon, looking good.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, honestly, all of the elf previews looked really solid. The only thing I'm a little worried about is my Scorpion boys. Mostly just because the big thing that worried me initially was, oh no, the leader doesn't hit on 2s anymore, which seems like a minor thing, but even like the rest of their like the aspect techniques, even the ploys and stuff like that were seemingly unchanged. And I'm really hoping that they just for some reason didn't decide to show us like what everyone was asking to change, like for the Dire Avengers to like at a minimum get like balanced or like maybe accurate would maybe be the change in this edition. But man, I don't know. I have been going, y'all know in Discord, I've been going on a tirade about why the Aspect Warrior Exarch should hit on 2s of any leader for this edition. It would make sense. Like they are the melee experts of the 40K
I will say
universe.
It's curious to me in the sense that I have seen all these changes where leaders are hitting on, what we would normally consider to be the normal ballistic skill for the team instead of hitting on one better, right? So I've been thinking about that, and I've been thinking like, okay, well, what if the design philosophy here is leaders are more of a utility piece, right? Like in the current edition, we have to decide if we're going to use our leader to go up and kill because it hits better, or if it's going to hang back and provide the benefits of its activated ability or its passive abilities, those sorts of things. I think that now it may be that it's kind of moving more towards like leaders as a utility piece, but
possibly. But the
Exarch doesn't have any of that.
Yeah, it breaks down with the Exarch specifically because the Exarch's utility is I can shoot or fight twice.
Precisely.
So like, ugh. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that somebody messed up and copy pasted a bunch of hit numbers that weren't supposed to be that.
Could be.
Well, either way, Corsairs are looking fantastic now, to be honest. The big thing...
Dude, rifles are useful.
Yes, rifles are useful. I mean, the base, all the elves get 7-inch movement. The fact they still get the free dash as a base ability, like, they're going to be super quick. And also the lightning bolt ability for the Psyker is looking bonkers now. It seems like the teams that are going to get classified out in the next year, it seems that they gave them those teams a lot of the fun changes, unless you're novitiates, and I'm very sorry, Alex, because you've been suffering this entire week. I'm
optimistic that we just don't know enough.
It's gotta be, man, because like the fact that like they hit on 4s and it looks like faith dice have been changed significantly, and
I think they're gonna be fine.
I hope so.
I think faith is gonna be pretty nutty. But like, so to go back to what you said, all elves are 7-inch move, and I've been playing a lot of Hand of the Archon as what feels like the only proponent in the world who says never take the 6-up feel no pain, always take +1 inch movement. It is always useful. While the 6-up feel no pain is maybe useful, more of a mindfuck. Now that they're base 7-inch movement, dude, if I can get them to 8-inch movement, I'll never not play anything other than Hand of the Archon. I'm gonna be an absolute menace.
I doubt that's gonna be a thing. I mean, they're definitely gonna be changing the drugs guide.
I hope so, but like, I want 8-inch movement so bad. 10-inch charge, 10-inch charge, 10-inch charge.
Yeah, I'm sure you would love a 10-inch charge, man, but I highly, highly doubt that's going to be a thing.
So, looks like Mandrakes are mostly unchanged, but that leaves more space for us to talk about the change to Power from Pain.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm so excited for Power from Pain.
Real quick about Mandrakes. No. Why did we leave this team the way it is? We needed changes. They didn't do them.
As somebody who rolls a shocking number of 1s and 2s on his Mandrake leader, it doesn't bother me because it never fucking works for me. I have gone 3 games in a row, not like turns in a row, 3 whole ass entire games in a row where his leader ability did not proc.
It is not all of our fault. You made a bargain. It is not my fault. You made a bargain with a hag in the Feywild about wanting to get your dice to roll all 6s, and then she did the twist and said they're gonna be 6s, but they're gonna be 1s instead. That's not our fault. Your dice don't work in logical ways. Fuck Mandrakes. Fuck their mother. They need to be changed.
It really does need to be changed. Like, it is too powerful. It is super non-interactive. It is a little toxic. It is
the most unfun ability in the game, in my opinion.
I mean, I think George's point about it being non-interactive, there's like no counterplay to it. It can be frustrating. I mean, obviously, we don't know if their ability to like shadow walk is changed at all. I think that's probably the next most like oppressive thing about the Mandrakes, but you know, it remains to be seen. I'm hoping again that other teams are being brought up to their power level instead of them necessarily being just absolutely like gutted.
Yeah, and don't worry, I have a rant ready for when we get to Chaos and Felgors. So, yeah. Anyways, Power from Pain.
Dude, I'm so excited. Power from Pain, Hand of the Archon's entire game plan was snowball off of Power from Pain, and now you can get it twice on every dude, 3 if you're shooting a Space Marine. This is great. So many pain tokens. So many command rerolls.
I'm drowning in pain. It's great, man. I mean, the APL3 is just going to be a fantastic addition to the team, and they're going to be doing so much fighting and killing. And
yeah, I mean, that shit's useful, but like, dude, have you played an elf team that has easy access to rerolls? Because when Hand of the Archon get going, they have easy access to rerolls.
Yep, you can just reroll basically whatever you want. It's great.
It's so good.
Oh man.
It's like,
So yeah,
oh, did I not get 4 crits this attack? I'll just reroll the miss. Oh, look, it's a crit.
yeah, man. It's and honestly, it looks like a lot of their operatives are unchanged besides the Crimson Duelist, which did get a nerf, which I am happy
Yeah,
about
it's
because that would have
unfortunate.
been a little too good.
Nah, Crimson Duelist was absolutely crucial in the Horde matchup, just because the Crimson Duelist needs to charge two weenies and remove 2 weenies from the board, potentially twice, but at least once. Now that it cannot do that, it is unfortunate.
Well, I mean, they could with counteract now.
I mean, at a nine activation team, and most Horde teams are 11. Yeah, in theory, it's fine, but like, I'd rather just have to be able to fight twice instead of fight the same guy twice. It's a nerf that hurts, but I don't think it like counteracts the buff to power from pain.
Yeah, it's one of those internal balance things where, we can probably expect to see some other operatives maybe stronger. I mean, maybe it's just generating all these extra pain tokens is just going to be all they needed. I mean, I think that that's what a lot of people were saying about the team is it's just they're good. They just need like 1 or 2 extra pain tokens early and they're going to be absolute monsters.
Yeah, and you don't get pain tokens. I mean, technically, you get them earlier because you just need to injure. But like, yeah, I think they're gonna be really good. I think they're gonna be fun. I'm really excited to pop out my hand to the Archon again, and like just run around and be a menace.
George, I gotta ask you, man, are you gonna be okay? Like, you have a lot of options in front of you, and I think, like, once we get the full rules, you might have a heart attack.
Dude, I'm gonna be playing so many different teams. I'm picking up Jaegers tomorrow. Uh, it's gonna be pretty good. Very
He's going to
excited.
be a good friend to have in our corner because George is going to know a lot about how everybody, like all the teams are playing on the board.
Yeah,
It
but
is my superpower, my ADHD kill team superpower.
well, that's one of my goals for this next edition is to stick to like 1 or 2 teams and do really well with them. I really want to get my golden ticket this edition. And I was, let's see, I was 7 places away from Nova from getting it. So I don't know where I'm at right now. I think Nemclaw and Legionnaire are calling my name, to be honest.
Joe, you
Uh,
could just play Felgor and you'll get your golden ticket.
Jesus Christ. Thank you for the transition point.
Oh yeah, so
Chaos.
let's talk about some chaos bullshit.
God, why the fuck is Frenzy unchanged
Cause
again?
it's perfectly balanced, clearly.
Joe, I don't even think that it's unchanged. I think it's buffed because now you can open doors as a frenzied goat.
Oh
It is in
yeah,
fact
you're
buffed.
right. You're correct. I don't like the I will give every compliment to the kill team design folks. They have done a fantastic job for the most part for this entire edition, and I've loved everything with this 3rd edition. If I see one of the designers again, like I did at Nova, I am going to absolutely harass them regarding what the thought process was leaving this team unchanged.
Well,
My
Warpaint isn't as good, so it's not completely
oh,
unchanged.
but oh no, it's
They
just
can now
team
be
wide now.
stunned into oblivion. Yeah, but they can be stunned into oblivion. So like the main thing you took Warpaint for was to prevent yourself from getting stunned. No longer works like that. So like
Stun's also more consistent now.
Yes,
yeah.
agreed. But the fact, I mean, let's just at a base level. You have to kill 20 models. That is what this team is. And that is unchanged about this team.
Unless you bring them just super low and then they can't fight you, because if they attempt to fight you on their activation, they'll just die and fall over. Like that's just how you fight Felgor. Is you have to either frenzy them on turn 1 or deal them like 8 damage and no more, because
Yeah,
they're more dangerous frenzied than they are 2 wounds.
trust me. In my game against Liam, I tried that. It was successful for a myriad of reasons. I'd argue those reasons where scouts are arguably too strong in the same way that Felgor's are, but Felgor is such a poorly designed team, and I really wish they had just thrown Frenzy out and just started from the bottom up and tried something different for them, because there is no way that this rule is ever going to be fair for either the person playing Felgor or the person going into Felgor. It's just there is no happy medium.
I disagree, Joe. I think that this is an interesting and well designed team. I think you can make the argument that it's maybe like the power balance is not in line with everything else. I also think that there is a chance that shooting is just better in this edition, and so maybe a
with
good
all
melee
the
team.
accurate going out and stuff.
Yeah,
But accurate doesn't do fuck all.
It hurts them. They have a 5-up save.
But I'm
we're
saying,
also saying more instances of severe, which is just flipping a hit to a crit.
Severe, yes, will do stuff.
Yeah.
But my problem is at a base level with as with Mandrakes, as with Felgor, as with Brood Brothers. And I'm gonna go ahead and assume Gellerpox too, just based on what we've been seeing so far. These are the teams that desperately needed changes because they were the ones that were causing the most frustration from people across the board. Talk to any person at Nova, and these were the frustrations people were having. Now, bear in mind, Mandrakes is wasn't necessarily an issue for them because nobody fucking played them for some reason. I don't know why. I think
it's a Pathfinder thing. It's just they're kind of toxic AF, and no one wants to be that guy.
Yeah, and now we're going into this new edition, and I really think that basically the meta is going to be functionally the same, with elites just being significantly stronger, with the added little bonus of Vespids and Aquilons, which may shake things up. I don't know.
They will shake things up.
I'm just completely flabbergasted that they did not even attempt to touch Frenzy in any significant way.
I'm telling you, they made it better. And you can look at the Death Knell data card. It's a little bit better now, too.
This is my hot take. I think Frenzy is mostly fine. I think it's probably a little strong, but it's not game-breaking.
How recently have you played against Felgor?
I played as Felgor.
I know you played
I played as Felgor for an entire league.
I
played as Felgor so long, I got upset about playing Felgor because my brain is broken.
I know.
I got upset about playing Blue
I got second at ATC with Felgor. I know.
Yeah, when they were busted.
But they are also still good. They're not bad.
They're good. They're good. They're not
arguably in the top 5 of teams right now. I'd argue they're probably. I'd argue they're in the top 3.
I think they can easily get bodied by a number of teams. I think double shooting Space Marines with lethal will just put them down. I think that they have plenty of counterplay in a lot of matchups, as long as people have the practice into Ravagers. Because I think the big thing about Felgor is that their unchecked aggression can take a lot of people off guard, and if you're not prepared for it, it can feel oppressive, like nobody knows what to do against it.
It feels oppressive because it is oppressive. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's like when Rundown... It was like when Rundown Intercession was a thing. What the fuck do you do about a screaming Space Marine?
When was Rundown Intercession a thing?
Rundown Intercession was a big way that you played Intercession when they first came out. Yes, are you kidding? We just never experienced it because we didn't. we never experienced it because we didn't really have any good Intercession players in our area. But that was a big thing across the meta, is that certain teams just could not deal with 14 wound Space Marines with chain swords screaming down the block because they had all of the defensive buffs. It's the same thing with Felgor. The only difference is that they are effectively immune to everything after they frenzy. And God forbid you don't have reliable ways to get lethal 5 on your shooting, or you're not particularly good in melee. It's a
all you need to do is roll 1-6. Just need to roll 1-6.
I think we're dwelling on this a little too long. I'm going to ask one last question about Felgor. Joe, would you have rather they just nerfed Felgor, nerfed Gellerpox? Let's just go ahead and say Inquisition and Pathfinders too.
Agreed.
And they made absolutely no changes that helped elites. Mm-hmm. Would you have taken that trade? No changes to counteract, no buffs, no nothing. Elites are exactly as they are now.
Obviously not.
Okay.
Because I understand what you're getting at, and I understand like where the design space was focused, and I get that. But I'm just saying, do not be shocked if when we get into this new edition, you're seeing the same 3 teams at the top, even with all of the buffs to the new teams, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked too. I think that people like a lot of those teams. I think when I think about Felgar specifically, people really like the models. They're really fun and easy to paint, and you can really like
Super good models.
you can really
They're
like
the best models arguably they've released in Guild Team. They're fantastic.
very high floor, very high ceiling. Like a really amazing painter can make them look insane, and somebody who's just like butt cheeks like me can also get them looking pretty good.
Yeah, I've painted Felgor, and they make me my best painted team, according to my wife, and I'm terrible at painting.
But yes. Anyways, I ran over. Other Chaos stuff real quick. Chaos Cult is looking pretty solid.
Dude, I love the changes to Chaos Cult.
Yeah.
Me too.
First of all, big thing, there's more mutations, but you can only ever get one torment a turn, period.
Yep.
You can also, no one heals. Like when you go from devotee to mutant to torment, you do not heal. You just whatever damage you have,
That's actually
straight up that damage again from your maximum.
You're right. Yeah, because you can heal as a mutation, but it doesn't happen while you're evolving. You can do that.
Big fan. Like that a lot.
Yeah,
so you get more heals, which allows you to regain a lot of wounds for your what is it, the dark commune dudes, because I used to do that all the time with when I was playing Chaos Cult. I would heal the blessed blades, or I'd heal the dark commune guys. Well, that's because I was playing Chaos Cults when the torments would just be like, oh man, you got that mutant of 1 wound, 13 wound torment.
Yeah. Very much
busted
so.
as shit.
And that's I love the design of Chaos Cult so much. I would literally never play another team if they let you take Space Marines. If they just let you take 1 or 2 Space Marines like they did with Old Compendium, because I love the mixture of Chaos Cultists and Space Marines. I would play Word Bearers until I die. But I'm very happy that Colt is getting a buff that they need because they're a fun little team. Blooded.
You mean a nerf? The nerf that they need?
Well, they got so the nerf slash yes.
they got some buffs, but they got the nerf that they needed.
Yes, correct. Because obviously they were terrorizing our meta along with Felgor, a couple last year at around this time. But Blooded are also looking very interesting now.
The Blooded ability hasn't changed a whit, but everything else around them seems to have in a great way.
Yeah. As a team that had terrible ploys through and through, it's going to be very interesting to see the rest of their ploys when they come out. These, I mean, are definitely.
What do you mean? They had command reroll.
Yeah, which is a good ploy, but not an interesting ploy.
Yeah. It's
and I mean, these are interesting. Like healing, that's awesome. Love that equipment.
Doing damage on the way out is really good against low wound teams.
Yeah. I think that all that stuff's awesome. And, we talked a little bit about the changes to the Ogren as well. Yep. Getting a cover save behind light, even if you can get shot, that's really good. Opening doors. I don't know much about Blood. It's a team I've wanted to play, but I haven't. But
sure, I can add
Blooded
a little
are
bit.
super fun.
Did they already have the mortals on charge?
Yes, it
the
was
D3.
Did.
The Ogren didn't really change in any way.
Yeah.
Other than
the cover stuff.
Yeah. But so the team is one of the true combined arms team where their melee dudes are really good at melee and either suck at shooting or literally can't shoot. And their shooty dudes are really good at shooting. Well, they're guard good at shooting, but they're plasma guns and melting guns and shit. And they're fists in melee, right? So they're a super combined arms team. They can shoot into melee before exaction made it cool. They're just super fun. Blooded tokens just give you hits. So it's real. The team is aggression, the team.
Yeah, exactly. And they seem to be rewarding that play style more. So I could see in an ideal world where this team really wants to table their opponents and get the kill up and
Blooded are the only team where their faction tack up made it into the next edition.
Yeah,
it's just called kill op now.
Yeah, literally, just table your opponent. And I think guard are in an interesting design space right now too. Comparing these guys to Vet Guard, for example, and stuff we saw for them. Two very different but similar play styles at the same time. And I'm really curious, what the balance now is going to be of horde mid-range versus elites versus like
I'm kind of
pseudo
interested
elites.
in like now that plasma pistols aren't just the best weapon
Yeah.
in the game.
Do you go
Like
bolt?
you'll probably see more melee centric blooded leaders who are using the last pistol power weapon.
I
Because
will.
before it was just plasma pistol. You took the plasma pistol. It doesn't matter what you. I don't care what you think. The plasma pistol is the best option.
So it goes. It's base 3.5 AP1, right?
From what
Yeah,
we
which isn't
saw from
bad.
the captain, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes up to it's lethal 5, 4.5 when you
Which
go
again,
hot.
not bad. But
Did
like
the
it's
plasma
not
pistol even have a
5-6
hot
AP2.
profile?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
Yeah,
increases normal damage, gives it lethal 5.
And also, the hot doesn't do what it's still ones, right? Stuff happens, or
I don't think we've seen a hot weapon be fired yet.
have we not?
I don't think so.
Huh? I guess we haven't. Yeah. I have no idea. Yeah, all we have to see what the hot rule is.
Hot bad. I mean, yeah, it's not. We'll see if they've made it bad enough where you have to think about it. Because currently you don't think about it. You just shoot hot.
Right? Because it's. I mean, yeah, you blow yourself up now, but like that was such a rare occurrence, and it's so worth that extra bit. But I still don't think, like, for example, like people are going to be switching to like bolt pistols, for example.
No, because you're either taking the plasma pistol or the power weapon, and you're never taking the chainsword bolt pistol. I mean, maybe you'll take the mid range who can
let me give an example.
both.
Nemesis
Because blooded
Claw,
tokens might change that on the blooded chieftain.
right? So let's say Nemesis Claw, for example, you can only take the chainsword and the plasma pistol, but you can go power weapon, bolt pistol. We know power weapons are the same. Would you ever go power weapon over the plasma and the chainsword now? Assuming
I mean,
they
it's
both
a rending chainsword. I don't know. That is a legitimate choice now, which is
I'm
way
assuming
better
they
than it
both hit
currently
on
is.
threes. Because I'm assuming that they. I mean, I would love for them the in melee to hit on twos. That'd be great.
Honestly, I think in Nemesis Claw specifically, the plasma pistol rending chainsword is still the best option.
Well,
because it is a rending chainsword, and plasma pistol is still better damage AP1, right? Piercing 1.
right.
So it is still the better weapon, and the chainsword is good enough for it to almost never
Let me
matter.
ask this question. So we know the Space Marine power fist hits on threes. Does that imply if it was any other melee weapon, he'd be hitting on twos?
I think so.
That's what that implies to me. Because normally with power fist you hit on fours, unless you're a Space Marine.
Yeah. I mean, if the Legionary champion comes with a power fist that hits on threes and a plasma pistol, and like you either choose a plasma pistol and a chainsword, and they both hit on threes, or a bolt pistol and a power fist, I'm taking the power fist as long as it hits on threes.
Yeah, so I think we'll see what happens. I don't know if leaders are going to be hitting on twos in melee. I think if that's going to be the quote unquote trade off, like the good melee options hit on twos, but you can't also take the plasma pistol, then I think that actually becomes a choice, and that's when people are going to start magnetizing their leaders and having those options. Because I think the hitting on twos power open is such a good draw. Against certain matchups, I think we'll see. Now, obviously, the Space Marine captain's a bit of an oddity because hitting on threes power fist is just the best against most things.
Yeah, but I think like since we're talking about blooded, I think people are just gonna have to build 2 new blooded chieftains. Like they're just gonna have to have every option available.
Yep.
Because I think with blooded tokens, that actually means that your jack of all trades, bolt pistol, chainsword, blooded operative is decent. Actually, because I make a shooting attack, I hit on threes, I retain a hit.
Oh, you know
I make a fighting attack, I hit on threes, I retain a hit automatically.
Did we
It's good.
Did we see for Vet Guard? We didn't see the leader, or did we?
No,
let's
I
go
actually
to
wanted to go
Imperium
ahead
teams.
Yeah, so looking at Vet Guard right now, the operative that we saw a data card for was the Spotter. This is basically the prime example of what I've been thinking about is operatives that don't see a lot of play currently, getting like a new lease on life. Obviously, the Spotter was, a Titan for a long time because it had what we would probably now call Seek Heavy. It doesn't have that anymore. It's got a way to Seek Light, but its blast attack has gotten a pretty big buff. It no longer costs 2 action points to use. It's 4 attacks on 4s, 3/5 blast, 2 silent. That's still pretty good. heavy dash as well. So I think that's really good. The support ability is different for them as well. It has Seek Light. It doesn't have the group activation aspect to it. So it's going to give your opponent a little bit more like counterplay to it. But I mean, it's just a different way to use it, not necessarily like a huge nerf.
Yeah, it is a slight nerf, but it's not unusable.
Right. So let me ask you this, Mark. Do you think that your leader operatives for guard now are going to hit on 4s?
Maybe, maybe not. It's tough to say. I mean, with what we've seen, I mean, that's certainly a logical train of thought. I think that a team that all hits on 4s is going to be really rough. And I think the one sort of thing that's going to give me like a little bit of confidence to say that maybe their leaders are still going to hit on 3s is like we saw the Pathfinder leader gun hits on 3s. So I would assume that your Vet Guard Sergeant is going to hit on 3s. Probably same with your Kazarkin Sergeant. So, I mean, the Kazarkin Sergeant, obviously.
Pathfinder Shazwi hits 1 better in melee as well. So
yeah,
exactly.
So like, I don't. That's weird to me, right?
I think it's just going to be inconsistent.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be inconsistent, and I think that they don't want as many things hitting on 2s.
I think it literally is just as simple as that, which is fine.
It's probably fine.
But it makes the game like let's put it this way: Space Marine Captain hitting on 3s. Like, why? Why are we making?
Spent too much time yelling into a Vox. Not enough time at the range.
It's the same sort of thing that I asked earlier, right? Like, what would you prefer, Joe? Would you prefer to have Space Marine leaders hit on 2s, or would you prefer to have the team have better access to rerolls and retains?
Now imagining the lead designer just like lifting me up by the shirt, like, what do you want? Tell us what things you want. Tell us right now.
Do you want to hit on 2s and have no rerolls? Would you rerolls and hit on 3s? We only have so many monkey paws.
Like, and that's how it feels, because it's like, I mean, it's the Pedro Pascal meme of like, why not both? Like, it doesn't seem mutually exclusive to me. I get
not enough monkey paws, Joe. Not enough monkey paws.
I think they're thinking teams like the Space Marines, because of the buffs they've given them already, that they need to in some way nerf them. So
it's not a nerf, it's internal balance, right? I had been worried.
Yes.
I had been worried that all of the changes to elites were going to be an overcorrection. We're seeing the changes in the core rules that we saw like on the stream and stuff, where it's like counteract and like 3 objectives. Those things we think are probably going to help elites a lot. Now that we've seen like some of the changes to the teams, they're getting direct buffs too. So it's going to be like, I thought initially that all that stuff is going to be an overcorrection. But I think some of those internal balance mechanics are going to make it a little bit more, balanced overall. Obviously, they're getting a buff. They needed a buff, but it's not. I'm more confident now that it was very like intentional and like well-crafted buff, so that elites were going to be able to compete and be really good.
Yeah, talk about internal balance. These guardsman orders. The way that it is worded, it implies that you can give a guardsman order from either the leader or the confidant at any point, not just if the leader is dead can you use the confidant, which pretty cool if that's the case. Or if, I might be reading into it a little bit, if combeads can be used, if you can give out multiple orders, one from the leader and one from the confidant, and give one of them a combead order and the other one give a 6-inch bubble order, that could be really cool.
Yeah, it could really open up like new and interesting avenues for the team. And then obviously, like I, as somebody who's played a lot of Vet Guard, watching Take Aim go from ceaseless to balance, not my favorite thing, but Siege Warfare to give the team saturate.
Holy crap.
Pretty
Holy
cool.
crap. Holy crap. Just
I mean,
my
I like
entire
that.
team gets no cover.
Yeah, I mean, I
Holy
think
crap.
that Hotshot Laz is probably going to go away, and this is just a different kind of version of that, but I think it's better.
Hotshot is going to be an equipment that you get like, select 3 las guns or las pistols per turn or whatever, and then you'll get overcharged las guns as well. I think it'll be probably pretty good with no cover. I think Siege Warfare is maybe busted.
I'll take it. Kazarkin, it looks like elite points are gone.
Thank God.
It looks like
elite points are so lazy and so boring.
Agreed.
They're hitting on threes. It looks like they're going to have something kind of like Guardsman Orders, where during the strategy phase, they're going to be able to pick like a special ability for their guns. When we saw Kazarkin operative shooting a ready enemy operative, its ranged weapon gets severe.
Yeah, which is crazy good because all the current Kazarkin like ploys and abilities are only useful against models who are not ready and who's not in cover. Like, who's dumb enough to leave an operative just out in the wind and why is it that's the guy you want to shoot ever? He's never the guy you want to shoot. You want to kill someone who hasn't gone yet. So like the biggest problem I have with Kazarkin is that elite points are lazy and they're the only thing holding the team up because everything else in the team wants you to kill models who are not useful to kill. They're not going to help you win the game to kill them, but your abilities want you to focus fire those guys down.
Yeah, and I mean those sorts of design decisions are good because I think that's just you're going to be rewarded for playing the game in a way that you're naturally going to want to play it. Like it is a better strategic decision to kill a ready operative than an operative who's not already who's already activated. I mean, I imagine we're still going to see instances of operatives getting benefit against non-ready operatives. I imagine again the Jaegers. It's a very new team. I don't think they're going to get changes that big to where their Sam Fisher operative who gets all these benefits against not ready operatives is just completely different now.
Yeah, but that's one dude against potentially one dude, where Kazarkin, it was the defining ploys on the team are only useful against operatives who are not ready. Like, it's just such a bad design from the get-go.
Foregrip is a super good piece of equipment, accurate one on shots within 3 inches of it, looks like.
Yeah,
3.
Which is crazy. I'm just going to take this Melta and retain 6 damage.
Bingo. The trooper is going to get a free smoke or free stun each turn. That's really good, especially since those are better grenades now.
Dude, it's so cool. I might pull out my Tauserkin. This is just Kazarkin looking pretty good.
Keep that abomination in the broken toys drawer. Never bring them out again.
Already been approved by 2 separate tournaments. They're good.
George, don't lie to us. You're going to be playing Exaction Squad, and you know it.
I'm going to be playing a lot of Exaction Squad. I'm playing a lot of Hand of the Archon. I'm going to be playing a lot of Legionary. I'm going to be playing a lot of Exaction Squad. I'm going to be playing a lot of Jaegers. I'm going to be playing a lot of teams.
I'm going to be playing a lot of Kill Team, man. It looks like Exaction Squad are, going to be very similar to how they are now. It looks like the repress rule for their weapons is going to give them attacker in a lot of combats and block 2. The strobing lumen, that looks like it's been changed a little bit. That was the one that shut off rerolls before previously, right?
Yeah, it's been buffed and nerfed. The buff is it's just everybody gets it now instead of just the shields essentially. But the nerf is that it's the range is much shorter.
And it also only shuts off rerolls to 1s.
Yeah.
Other lower misses and stuff will still be rerollable.
Still useful, but well, I'll see what the other equipment is. But I did notice that in the article it says Exaction Squad get 3 faction rules and only show repress.
So I imagine they'll probably keep that ability to shoot into combat. It's again one of those big identity kind of things for the team.
That one's going to be called Fascism is Cool, kids.
That's just 40k. That's the entire setting. But
I know, but the fact that their rules is called repression is just very funny.
It's very on the nose. But so one thing that I did notice, and this is actually something for Inquisitorial Agents, which is a team that I've been wanting to play, is that the shoot into combat ability, it does not appear to be on the data card for the model, which means that if you take them for Inquisitorial Agents, you can't shoot into combat with them, which is the entire reason I want to play Inquisitorial Agents. So that might just kill all my attention.
George, I hate to break this to you. You couldn't do that now.
Yes, you can, because it's on the card. You absolutely can. That is currently how that works.
I think that that's an interesting way to address the issue of internal balance with requisitioned operatives, whereas now it is breachers are the only choice unless you're taking exaction. And so I
Yeah,
think
it was
that,
breachers and exaction currently. I
yeah,
think exaction's kind of dead in the water as a choice, while breachers and probably Kazarkin are now up there.
yeah,
Because Kazarkin troopers still get their stun and smoke grenade as part of Inquisitorial agents.
yeah, that's really good. We don't know what else the Death Corps will have to offer, but I don't think the spotter is going to be the de facto choice that's really going to swing it. Obviously, it's interesting that Sisters of Silence and Scions, Tempestus Scions notably, are still options. So we'll need to see what those look like before we can, throw dirt on them and stuff. It looks like
I bet you they look exactly the same as they do now.
probably. I mean, I think that Inquisition looks very similar to how it is now. Absolute Authority looks really similar.
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of changes.
But I mean, it's a good team. It's a hard team. And so, I mean, I think with the changes to all of the requisitioned operatives, that's really where we're going to see the meat and potatoes of what this team looks like in third edition.
I think Inquisitor Agent still looks like a fine team. I just wanted to, I wanted to run around with my Death World veteran and have him get cleared of combat by an Arbites. And if that's not a thing that I can do anymore, then I'm going to be just sad.
It looks like breachers are going to be pretty similar. We look at the data card for the Endurant. That looks very similar to how it is now. The deckhand tack ploy is really interesting because it's going to let you do like a charge or a fallback through a door that you can open for one, or you can open it for free. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, which is really strong. It's super strong though. Breach and clear hasn't changed at all.
Stims are different. Instead of the extra wound, it is
they just don't have to worry about their movement being reduced, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's novitiates left, and they have changed.
The way that you're generating active faith points is different. You're getting it based on the number of operatives, half the number of operatives rounded up. The Pronatus is generating less faith points early on because it's generating faith points equal to the turning point number, but it generates them for free when it does a mission action, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'd just like to see what the acts of faith are, because we've only seen the one. Is retain one of your fails as a normal instead of discarding it, which is, it's good. If the acts of faith, I think the acts of faith are going to be pretty nutty to counteract the reduction in their weapon skill and ballistic skill. Because currently they hit on 3s, now they hit on 4s, which they probably should have hit on 4s all the time because they're still in training, but, whatever. But, just having a strategic ploy that says when you're fighting not ready operatives, you get punishing. I don't even know what punishing is, but, just giving your entire team punishing. Pretty good, I think. Oh, it says here, when turning a failed roll into a success if they have any criticals. Oh, okay, so it's just Daka. If you've retained a crit, you turn a miss to a hit. That's what punishing is.
And with consistent access to crits through what we can assume an act of faith will be, that's pretty good.
That's double dipping there. It's because that's just you're getting, 2 acts of faith for the price of 1.
And the auto chastizer change, instead of it just giving you the reroll on ones, it's guaranteeing you an act of faith, but you take wounds to do it. I think that that's an interesting and fair change, given that it's presumably team wide kind of thing now, right?
Yeah, team wide. Use it once on whoever you needed to use it on. So it looks pretty good. I think novitiates are going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, I hope so. It's a team I want to try out, and I've had my eye on them for a while. We've been talking about Kill Team for ages. I want to hit one more quick thing before we go, and obviously, if there's anything you guys want to go over, we can definitely do it. Here's what I'm thinking. I want to hear from you guys a team that you're excited about. One thing that you hope is different based on the changes we've seen to that team already, and one thing that you hope is the same.
Now that's interesting. I'm definitely most excited for Legionary. I'm still a Legionary player at heart. I'm very excited to see the mark restrictions go away. I do hope that I get my champions with Power Fist hitting on 3s, but I'm not likely. Like, that's my biggest change, and I hope that the champions' free action on kill stays the same, because that shit is nutty.
Yeah, love those like chain activation kill sorts of things where you just charge, fight, shoot, loot. That's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah, I did that to Phobos. It was great.
Joe, what are you thinking? A team that you're most excited about? What do you hope is the same from the current edition? And what's one thing you hope is changed based on what we've seen?
Yeah, man. I love my scouts, man, and I'm kind of hoping to maybe have them be my main for this edition. We'll see what happens. I would like for them, their heavy weapons, the weapons that were hampering them the most, to perhaps get an equipment that would not make them so terrible. And I would like to see knives go to 4-5. I think that is a reasonable trade-off for that. And yeah, man, I think that they'll be perfect just that way.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool team. I think for me, I think I'm most excited about Salvagers because I've really liked playing them. They've just kept getting better and better. I am really excited. Like a thing that I hope stays the same. I'm going to take 2. I hope proximate firepower is still a thing. It's a very interesting rule and kind of dictates the way you have to play the team. I also am hoping that they kind of are able to keep that sort of elite killer identity. Maybe, if AP2 weapons are harder to come by, maybe that's the team that still has access to 2 of them, right? I hope that there is a little bit of nuance with the locator. I think the locator as it is very strong and a really good pick, but I think that it's a little bit too oppressive in the Jaegers matchup. Whereas like the Jaegers forward movement is so huge to who they are as a team, at least in the current edition, that I think it's just a little too much against them.
It pretty much auto wins you that matchup.
Yeah. I mean,
which is crazy.
I like the locator ability. I think it's good. I just think it needs to be I think that there's some rebalancing that needs to happen there.
Yeah, I don't think that'll change. But, I think Jaegers will still absolutely get shit on by Salvagers because the locator exists. But I think that's fine. Jaegers seem pretty strong.
Any final thoughts before we get out of here? I know that we got our fingers crossed for Sunday. Hopefully we'll get some good news on Sunday about Kill Team, but who knows?
I did see in the Command Point Discord that Kill Team Nova Ben, who I believe is the TO for the GW Tampa Open, has confirmed that the Tampa Open will be using the new edition, and that is taking place on October 12th and 13th. So we should have all of the stuff in a couple of weeks, it looks like.
All right, guys. Vox Scream, over and out.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Vox Scream. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Please follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. Any of those things are going to help us grow. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode.